come up to say hello. So I've just come to say hello to you guys as well. So do you like the new hat? I think that cost me about £6 on Amazon. So are we beginning to catch up on our mail after their strikes? As I'm beginning to find out why they're striking now, it's over the terms and conditions of their employment. One person said that the BBC, the postal workers get on retirement. They get 2 years' wages on retirement. Now that's quite a lot of money, and apparently they're going to try and reduce that down to 9 months upon retirement. So that's a great big loss for all those people who've worked for it all their years. It's a big loss at the start of your retirement, especially if you were banking on having 2 years' pay to help maybe get a new car or do some decorating or even go on a holiday. It's a big chunk of money to lose, isn't it? And I've also been looking into car prices, electric car prices. I've looked at a second-hand Tesla being an electric car, and that cost £34,000 for a Model 3 Tesla, 3-year-old. Now, if everything's right, after 3 years, you're looking at a new battery, which is going to cost you about between 8 and 12 grand. So we'll call it 12 grand on top of your 34 grand. That will be 46 grand you'd have to pay for your new electric car. And of course, if you haven't got a charging point, it's going to cost you 4 grand to put a charging point in. So your 34 grand car is now going to cost you £50,000 so that you can run it from home. It's a second-hand car, and it's going to cost you 50 grand to have everything ready for it. It's just beyond belief. I mean, okay, I know it was about 30 years ago now that I bought my first flat, and that cost me 30 grand. So yeah, you're looking at probably a small one-room bedsit now, for that kind of money. So it's a house. Basically, you're buying a house on 4 wheels that in another 3 years' time is going to cost you another 12 grand because you're going to need another set of batteries. Unbelievable. Well, hopefully, in the future, if they come out with these sodium batteries, whose charging cycles are a lot better, you'll get a good, maybe another 400% out of your charging cycles, and it holds another. The charging capacity of these new sodium batteries will be a lot higher, and the charging rate will also be a lot higher. But the thing that gets me is that these charging cycles for lithium polymer batteries is something like 1,200 cycles, which works out to about 3 years if you're charging them up every day. But I don't think most people would. I mean, I'm only doing 100 miles a month now, so that would be a charge and a half, I would say, every month. So you're talking at maybe pushing on the battery on an extra couple of years by charging it only once a month. But to be honest, if I was working locally, I would be doing a lot more miles. I know my Sarah, she only goes a few miles every day, but it's 10 miles every day that she's adding on, and then if she goes to the supermarket, you're talking about another couple of miles for that. Or if she pops out with her grandmother, or a mother pops out with her mother, it can be another couple of miles added on top. So she probably does a good 300 miles a month, which is it's a damn sight more than I do. But anyway, so yeah, electric cars I don't think are looking very good at the moment. I walked down, I just did a thing about pharmacy to you, so I went to my local chemist. Well, it's not exactly local, but it's one my Sarah uses, so I thought I'd use them. I was walking down this typical street in Hull, where there are dozens and dozens of houses with no access to the back gardens. You have to go through the house to get to the back garden. and they've got no front garden because it just goes straight onto the street, so that where the pavement is. Where are they going to put their charging units? I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to turn one side of the street into parking, and then the other side for pedestrians, because I can't see how they're going to fit that many cars down that street with electric meters. You're going to have to invade people's, right up to their front windows to park. And how are you going to police all these charging meters? Because it's free parking. There's nobody's got a designated parking space outside their houses. It's just free for all. And of course, there's the shops, so anyone can pull up outside your house and park while they do a bit of shopping. And of course, if you wanted to, charge your car up, you'd have to wait until that parking space become available and park up outside your house. I just don't get how people are going to be able to run electric cars from those type of streets. Where I live, there are 2 cul-de-sacs with about 8 houses down each side. They've got no access to street for their cars. So how are they going to charge their cars up? How, when it comes to me, I'm on street parking, although we do have a front garden. That will probably mean having to put the car on the driveway, or should I say, converting the front garden into a drive, which takes up soil space, which means that the water's just going to run off into the drains rather than running into the ground. So that's going to be another issue there. And of course, you can't have charging cables running across pavements, can you? A tripping hazard for people. So how the government is going to implement this, I don't know. It's going to be an absolute nightmare when you can't buy a new car that's petrol. People are just going to be buying second-hand petrol cars. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm pretty certain of it. Anyway, that's not why you called, is it? So, bit of news. I did finally get my new medication that I'm going to be on. I've got diabetic medication that I'm going to be on an injectable pen. So I'll have to stop some of my old medication so that I can start taking this injectable pen. I should be doing that first thing in the morning because I'm still had one of the old tablets this morning. So tomorrow morning I'll be on the new injectable pen. So that'll be exciting. Diabetes will start to come under control, hopefully. And we'll see what happens there. Hey. So Sarah's had to go into work today. It was going to be a day off, but she's been called in for a staff meeting, and apparently she won't get paid for this hour that she's been called in for a staff meeting. So that's a bit of a bummer. It's not very nice for her. Anyway, is that lens misting up again? I still think it is. Let me just cancel that. Go on, you get down. Yeah, it was misting up. Why was it misting up on the inside? I don't know. I'm going to have to get next time I get one of those silica gel packs. I'll put it next to my camera, see if it's I don't see. It's not got wet in the past, so I don't know why it would suddenly mist up now. Well, thanks GoPro for another error in your cameras. Anyway, I'm all covered in dog's got muddy feet. I'm all covered in muddy footprints and mud from the dog, so that's good. Thanks dog for coming up. Right, I'll call it quits while I'm ahead. See you later then. Have a nice time, and I'll try and get a couple of messages out before Christmas. Okay, see you then. Bye then.